distant, they're hardly spoken about. "Lyndon?" Cecily says, touching his arm. He turns his head to her, but doesn't look. "Lyndon," she tries again. "I need to eat something. I'm getting a headache." This gets his attention because she is 4 months pregnant and prone to anemia. "What would you like, love?" he says. "I saw brownies in the cafeteria earlier." He frowns, tells her she should be eating things with more sustenance, but ultimately succumbs to her pouting. Once he has left my hospital room, Cecily sits on the edge of my bed, rests her chin on my shoulder, and looks at the page. The nurse leaves us, my blood on his cart of surgical utensils. This is the first time I've been alone with my sister wife since arriving at the hospital. She traces the outline of the country, swirls her finger around the Atlantic in tandem with her sigh. "Lyndon is furious with me," she says, not without remorse, but also not in her usual weepy way. "He says you could have been killed." I spent months in Vaughn's basement laboratory, the subject of countless experiments, while Lyndon obliviously milled about upstairs. Cecily, who visited me and talked of helping me escape, never told him about any of it. It isn't the first time she betrayed me, though, as with the last time, I believe that she was trying to help. She would botch Vaughn's experiments by removing IVs and tampering with the equipment. I think her goal was to get me lucid enough to walk out the back door, but Cecily is young at 14 years old and doesn't understand that our father-in-law has plans much bigger than her best efforts. Neither of us stands a chance against him. He's even had Lyndon believing him for all these years. Still, I ask, "Why didn't you tell Lyndon?" She draws a shaky breath and sits more upright. I look at her, but she won't meet my eyes. Not wanting to intimidate her with guilt, I look at the open atlas. "Lyndon was so heartbroken when you left," she says. "Angry, but sad, too. He wouldn't talk about it. He closed your door and forbade me from opening it. He stopped drawing. He spent so much time with me and with Bowen, and I loved that, but I could tell it was because he wanted to forget you." She takes a deep breath, turns the page. We stare at South America for a few seconds. Then she says, "And eventually he started to get better. He was talking about taking me to the spring expo that's coming up. Then you came back, and I thought if he saw you, it would undo all the progress he'd made." Now she looks at me, her brown eyes sharp. "And you didn't want to be back anyway, so I thought I could get you to escape again, and he would never have to know, and we could all just be happy." She says the last word, happy, like it's the direst thing in the world. Her voice cracks with it. A year ago, here is where she'd have started to cry. I remember that on my last day before I ran away, I left her screaming and weeping in a snowbank when she realized how she'd betrayed our older sister wife, Jenna, by telling our father-in-law of Jenna's efforts to help me escape, which only aided his decision to dispose of her. But Cecily has grown since then. Having a child and enduring the loss of not one but 2 members of her marriage have aged her. "Lyndon was right," she says. "You could have been killed, and I—" She swallows hard, but doesn't take her eyes from mine. "I wouldn't have been able to forgive myself. I'm sorry, Rhine." I wrap my arm around her shoulders, and she leans against me. "Vaughn is dangerous," I say into her ear. "Lyndon doesn't want to believe it, but I think you do." "I know," she says. "He's tracking your every move the way he tracked me." "I know. He killed Jenna. I know that." "Don't let Lyndon talk you into trusting him," I say. "Don't put yourself in a situation where you're alone with him. You can run away, but I..."